Anyway, it's delicious. Do you have a rimmer?
That's a personal question, Haley. I don't know. Do you?
Wait, where's this going?
I didn't rim my glass.
It's very paprika forward. Mm-hmm.
Is it?
It's all gone now. Not salty enough. Normally, you know what I use?
What's that?
No, Montreal steak spice.
Oh, Montreal steak spice should be on everything. I'm talking yogurt. I'm talking pancakes. I'm talking the dog.
I want it in my raccoon wounds.
I love that shit.
I'll start us off. 3, 2, 1, mark. Please note, this podcast contains offensive language, adult themes, Lower Decks Season 1 spoilers, and Star Trek The Next Generation spoilers, more importantly. Listener discretion is advised.
If you are looking for all the different things I put into the Caesar I'm enjoying right now.
Ooh, if you're looking for a recipe that uses chicken because you feel like chicken tonight, like chicken tonight.
If you feel like just, doing whatever the hell you want, I got nothing. Fuck.
Well, you know what? We did not have to. I just did this right before we started. Or if you're looking for the local screening dates and times for Threat Level Midnight.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is not the podcast for you.
That's Haley. I'm Sarah, and we're here to break your dreams and hearts with all this stuff that we're teasing. Oh my God. That was an awkward dreams. We're going to touch that funny bone and just... Oh, God.
This episode of Rewind is brought to you by Fansets. It is the place to get awesome pin collectibles. I'm spitting everywhere. They have over 200 droplets, ahoy, 200 officially licensed Star Trek pins to pick from, with new ones coming out every month. Talk much?
Lou, John, and the entire Fansets crew are fans, so they know that their product and service has to be the best of the best, and it is. See all the pins and collectibles they have to offer at fansets.com.
Fansets. Our pins have character. Didn't say that you wanted to do it together.
I know. I threw it in there to see if you were able to jump in and be ready.
You know that I wasn't in improv like you.
Oh, that was a fun month. Caesar's good, but it's slurpy. Should have put a straw on it.
Put a straw on it.
Put a straw on it. Put a beard on it. How are you? How are you? What's up?
I'm fine. I feel like I got nothing. COVID is just our whole lives, and we can't do a heck of a lot when COVID is happening. But I was in Vancouver for my usual weekly trip over and spent some time at the beach. I also bought a pair of Adidas Stan Smith tennis shoes. They're white.
Whoa.
I know. And so remember when you were younger and you would get new shoes and you'd have to scuff them up immediately because if you had white shoes, you were like a nerd.
That was it. You were going to be taught.
Yeah, no shoes. Fuck.
Sorry, I take care of my things.
I know. Did you get new jeans too?
Kids are cruel.
Kids are brutal.
Yeah.
So all I packed were my shoes, the white shoes. And so John was like, let's go to the beach. I'm like, okay. And then, so I took my shoes off and then we ended up hanging out with some friends, socially distanced, to watch the sunset. And I gingerly placed my shoes on paper towel on the sand. I don't know why, because what am I protecting them from? Anyway, other than that, life is fine. I tried a new grainy mustard. It was very vinegar forward, which I enjoyed very much. Mm. And I also finished The Office for the 3rd time this year.
That is something to celebrate. Are you starting it for a 4th?
You know what? I'm not going to, but and everyone has probably seen, well, I haven't seen, but heard about Jennifer Garner finishing it for the first time ever and then having a cry fit about it. Have you seen that?
No.
I just like sort of scrolled by it, but I guess, I don't know. Do you cry at the end of The Office? I do.
No, but you know me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Cold-hearted.
Yeah, I can't cry. Unless it's something extreme, like, don't get me wrong.
Right, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how to explain it.
Debilitating. How are you?
Good. I'm good.
Hey.
Great. I have the next week off.
Oh my God.
I have the week off, and I am going to keep practicing bending wire to make jewelry. I've been making earrings, like they're going out of style. I have one here. I'm just going to dangle it in front of you. I'm working on how I bend the wire and shit. And then I made about 1,000 studs. And here's some other ones. I'm just going to yoink. Oh, this is awkward. I wasn't prepared. Anyway, got dangly ones and rings and I made a bracelet with some rose quartz in it.
I love it.
Okay, so I am trying to do intermittent fasting. And by say I'm trying to do this, I mean I started yesterday. This is very new for me. And because I saw that there's an app, I saw an ad for an app, and I'm like, oh, well, if someone tells me to do it, then maybe I'll do it. Because I like apps for that stuff, like Fitbit and Weight Watchers or whatever.
Is it Body Cycle?
No, it's not. It's it sounds like Fitbit, but it's not Fitbit. It's like Fastic.
Oh.
Sounds kind of gross. It sounds like something you'd have to pop on your skin. I have a Fastic. Can you look at it? Anyway, so it starts you like beginner, right? Like you're not going to go like 16 to 8 automatically, right? So it was like, let's start you off with a 14 to 10. And so that means, like, for those listening who don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, that means 14 hours fasting, 10-hour window to eat. So it started with 8 p.m. last night. So I was like eating my popcorn and drinking my soda and like right until it was 7:59. Then I was like, boom, 8 o'clock. And that meant that I couldn't eat anything until 10 a.m. this morning, but I could have plain black coffee. Although I read that you could add some stevia because it does affect your insulin and blood sugar, or water, right? Yep. So this morning, and I was like, as soon as I like clicked on it, I was stressing out. I'm like, I'm hungry all the time. I said to Brad, I'm going to be a fucking nightmare in the morning. Like, I'm always hungry. Like, I'm an eater. And this is too hard. I was just like setting myself up for like this is like my Everest. Like, this is as hard as my life gets right now, is that I'm forcing myself to maybe not have breakfast right away. Yeah. And I'm like, and I can't have my vanilla coffee cream. Oh my God. I got up this morning and I had my coffee with some stevia and I loved it. I enjoyed my coffee. No different. Yeah. And then I wasn't hungry, which shocked me. So I took my temperature and made sure I was okay. I was fine. And then 10 o'clock was rolling around and I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the dog for a fucking walk. I'm going to go another hour. Yeah. So I took the dog for a walk. I had some hunger pangs. Yeah. Got home, 11 o'clock, boom, had my lunch.
How about that?
So I did it. So I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it every day.
That's what I've done, like, kind of most of my adult life is skip breakfast because I'm never really that hungry in the morning. But my problem is I eat pretty healthy lunch and like a fairly healthy dinner. And then it's like snack attack until like 10 p.m. And then of course I'm not hungry when I wake up. Mm-hmm. So I just finished eating. Yeah. But intermittent fasting totally works for a lot of people. I tried it too. And then as soon as I was like, what do you mean? What if I do want something? Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I don't do well with that. I once did a 24-hour fast, and by the time the 24 hours, I did 9 p.m. to 9 p.m. And by the time 9 p.m. rolled around, I was like, I'm not hungry. Mm-hmm. And I was like, but I should eat something. And so I like ate a bag of chips or something.
Mm-hmm. Super healthy. Celebrate this with some chips. Yeah. And then I bought a Jade roller for my face, and I don't know why.
Doesn't matter. It feels good. It feels so good.
I haven't put it in the freezer yet, but
you don't even need to because it'll just be colder than room temperature. I love it. It feels so nice.
Guys that are listening, this is the shit that your girlfriends, wives, and friends buy. Yeah. In bed when they're playing on their phone and you're wondering what they're doing. They're on Amazon buying Jade rollers or on Pinterest looking up how to bend wire into a ring that they're never going to wear. But they're going to tell their friends all about it and try and make them buy them.
That's just barely scratching the surface of the shit that we get up to.
A couple more drinks and it gets to be real.
This is it.
So there's this thing called the dark web. Anything you want to find is on there, kids.
Oh God. We start doing a dark web corner. Like we progressively get, like we look more and more haggard just because of the things we've seen. I don't really want to do the dark web corner this time.
I think I accidentally bought an animal that's endangered on the black market. It's arriving tomorrow.
Oh God. I think it's a rhino. This is what I was thinking about, like, because our overdose crisis is getting worse. It's the worst it's ever been in BC. And so ages ago, I thought, I know, and this is before the pandemic, because the pandemic has made it worse to actually get drugs. I was like, I know, I'll just go onto the dark web and buy like as much fentanyl as I can, and then it like won't go to the streets. And I was like, I can't do that because it's against the law.
Or else the people who are selling it are like, oh, this stuff's popular, let's make more.
I know, well, and that's exactly what happens. And then I was like, and then what do I do with it? Because like, what if a grain gets into my hand, then it'll absorb and I'm dead.
Then you're just one more statistic. Okay, so we did the worst quiz ever. Oh, I was like, I sat through this thing and I hated every second of it. And I'm like, there's no way I'm not doing this. Haley's got to do this too. She's got to suffer with the baby.
Yeah, it was the stupidest quiz. Like it kind of assumed the person who was taking it was a man. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's not true. Like, who would you dress up for in cosplay at a convention? Worf, Data, two other male characters.
And a table.
Yeah. Or a man, like a human being with a penis. Like, I can't. Anyway.
I know, it was so bad. And it was like, there were so many ads on the page. It was like the Fox News with like scroll bars and like flashing lights. I was so distracted.
Was this from the dark web?
Totally. But we got the same results again.
Classic us.
I think, what was it asking us? It was like, what job would you have on the Enterprise?
Yeah, what job?
And we both got Chief Medical Officer, which makes more sense for you since you work in medicine. Since you're a doctor, essentially. It says, if you were hurtling through space on the Enterprise, your job would be one of the most important. As chief medical officer, you would ensure the health of the crew and are the first person everyone turns to in a crisis. It only makes sense that you would be the ship's caregiver. You are perfectly suited, and you will break down medical barriers. That's not anything about who I am as a person.
The grammar also just in that. Yeah. Who?
This thing probably stole my data on my information. It was a hack.
You got hacked.
I got hacked.
Have you ever been hacked?
Not that I'm aware of.
Remember back in ICQ times? I don't know if you ever, yeah.
Never forget it.
Anyway, you don't even have to search for that fucking soundbite. I just did it on my own. Anyway, so I was like fucking 16, 17, something like that on my family computer in the basement. And someone takes over. I get kicked out of ICQ and someone's taken over my account. And so I make a new account and I'm messaging myself, which is this new person. And I'm like, fuck you. Like, thanks a lot. And the guy's like, I'm going to tell everyone that you like to have sex with men. And I was like, okay. Cool. But I was so mad. I never got it back.
I was down in my basement Googling Chris Maloney penis. And
that was just earlier today.
Oh, perfect. I can't believe he's coming back.
That's okay. So I didn't actually read anything about it, but so it's a spin-off, right?
Yeah.
Like Joey, only this will be good.
Yeah, it's going to be called Joey, so I'm so confused.
And it's starring Matt LeBlanc.
Because his name was Elliot. Elliot. That's the crossover I've been waiting for. It's like X-Files meets Law & Order by Dick Wolf.
Dick Wolf. Oh no, that's probably how his name comes up on his like airplane tickets.
Wolfman's got nards.
Oh god.
Anyway, yeah, it's a spin-off show and it's starring Elliot Stabler. His character is Bizak because he obviously got fired from SVU or whatever, and
Is that
then
what
plus
happened?
his wife hated everything to do with his relationship with Olivia because she got issues. So he left to work somewhere else. So I think this show's going to follow what his career is, and I think it's something to do with terrorism, or is it drugs, or I don't know, bombs? I don't know.
Oh, I want it still to be like SVU, only maybe
No.
in another city.
No,
Oh,
I think it's something different.
Oh, because he needed to change his career because his dumb wife.
Yeah, and I think he got like he did too many inappropriate things, not like with victims, but like he was like, I'm taking the law in my own hands and I'm gonna break the rules.
Yeah.
But
He
you know
had
what?
an
You got
anger
to.
management issue as well.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Before we go on, I kind of have to pee.
Okay, I kind of drank my whole Caesar and I want to make another one. So I'm going to leave this recording to see what happens while we're gone.
Love it. See
Ghost face.
Oh, you're already back.
Yeah, I didn't want to make a whole Caesar, so myself.
Do you need a four-sided grater?
I've been waiting 20 years for you to ask me that question. No.
Two kids were walking down an alley. One was assaulted. Anyway, it's not that funny.
I liked it.
Oh, I just inhaled some of that Rimmer.
So, okay, I want to know about this creepy corner. Where did you get yours from?
My life.
Yours is a real story? Mine's not.
Oh.
Or like a creepy story online. Go for it.
Creepy corner. I wonder if you can get Nandor saying something about creepy paper. So this one is probably explained due to the fact that I was high. However, so I was at someone's house like late in the evening. I'm maybe like 16 years old. And we're hanging out and smoking weed or pot or whatever the fuck the kids call it these days, you know, back in the day when it was not regulated and you didn't know what you're going to get. So we're hanging out and I'm sitting at a dining room table by myself for some reason. And we're all just kind of chilling. And suddenly I hear this like swing noise coming from the kitchen. Like the noise that when someone picks up a knife in a movie or like a scary show and it's like swing. Mm-hmm. That metallic sort of sound. And I'm like, okay. And soon after, the DD decides that it's time to drive everyone home. And I'm sitting in the back seat and it's dark outside because, you know, it's like late evening and it's also like not the summer. So it's like dark at 9:00. That is late evening for me. We come to a 4-way stop and I look out the window to this corner lot and I shit you not, there stands the Grim Reaper, and it all floods.
Was it the Grim Reaper?
You're not. That's funny.
Oh, that was good.
But like, imagine I'm like, what the fuck? And then
like,
it with the hood, with the cloak. And so, and then what I realized was that the sound that I heard wasn't a knife. It was the scythe. And I was like, holy shit, are we going to get in a car accident? Like, what is this? And I'm like, sure that this is some sort of terrible omen. So I kind of like blink a whole lot and the car continues onward. And I'm looking at it the whole time. I get home and that was it. Nothing else happened. And next time on Creepy Corner, I will talk about the ghost in my room that told me to die.
Yeah. You're such a conduit for this shit.
It's no bueno.
It's no good. And it's interesting that you mentioned that sound because that sound is internal into my head anytime I'm in a certain place and I think about the history of that place. If that makes sense.
Like in Hannibal where Will Graham is like, vroom, vroom, and then he sees like the reenactment of in Hannibal.
Maybe.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but it's been there. And then I met that girl who said that I had powers and I was like, yeah. I know. I turned them off because I don't want them.
Yeah, and she has them, right?
Yeah. I'll be at a place and I'll just like think about like something happened here once, and if I open myself up to thinking about it, then I'll get this that goes into my head and I'll just kind of like jerk my head and it kind of hurts almost, but it doesn't. That shrink sound is like very much. So was this on Halloween that you? No. Because if you're like, actually, wait a second, all these years.
I know. Could you imagine? No, it was definitely like a pot-induced sort of hallucination. And also at one point that night, I remember sitting on one of those balls, like those huge balls that you can sit on. What are they called?
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, and it had like it was a
Ball,
globe, and I was like, oh, I'm holding the whole world in my hands.
Did this happen near where you grew up, like your house?
No, this was in Gordon Head.
Okay, because I remember reading somewhere that one of the streets, like the main streets, like Shelburne or something, that people have driven through it and it turns into an old-timey area all of a sudden.
Yeah, in August, I think. Sometime in August, early in the morning, like 2:00. I wouldn't want to see that.
I don't need to see that. That's fine. I'll watch a movie that takes place in the West or something like that.
Yeah, I'm okay with the fact that we're in the Matrix. I just like to pretend I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Fair. All right. Well, since I have nothing creepy in my life that I know of, maybe I've turned it off and I don't remember anything. I found a story online, and here it is. I was about 12 years old, and I woke up in the middle of the night needing to take a leak. I walked across the hall to the little bathroom, hit the lights, and was about to reach for the toilet when I glanced up and saw a face in the mirror. It was not my face. It was as if someone was on the other side, standing to the right with their face right next to the glass, staring at me. No. I only saw it for the briefest moment, but it seared into my brain. I screamed and ran out of there to find my dad. Of course, my dad investigated, then calmed me down, or tried to. Eventually, we had a prayer session because I was so freaked out. Eventually, I must have gone back to sleep. Fast forward to my 30s. I'd forgotten all about the event. One night, while visiting, my dad quietly brings up, "Remember that one time you saw a face in the mirror?" It suddenly came back to me in a rush of memory, sending a chill down my spine. "Yeah, I remember." "Well," he said, "I sometimes think about that night." He looked down at the floor with a serious expression. "I saw it too." He went on to describe exactly what I'd seen. We had no idea what that was. Apparently, when he investigated, he saw it and he had freaked out on his own. Apparently, the prayer session wasn't as much for him as it was for me. I respect him for keeping this tidbit from me until my 30s, but I kind of wish he'd never told me.
Oh, I don't like that.
Ooh, there's something about mirrors, man. It ain't right.
Oh my God. I don't know about you, but for like, I'm okay now, except for maybe tonight I won't be. But right. For like the longest time I would not, like, I'd get up in the middle of the night, have to go pee or something, and I would just like never ever look at the mirror. Don't look at the mirror, because you know Bloody Mary's gonna be fucking there for one, or you're gonna see something, and it's just terrifying. I had a couple of friends who encountered the same thing, kind of like the kid and the dad in the story. Yeah, they experienced it separately. They were house sitting someone's house, and like along the hallway to the bathroom, middle of the night, one of them gets up to go to the bathroom, and they're just like face to face with this old woman, and they can see through her, and they just I just
got a chill.
Yeah, they just kind of stepped around her and then went back to bed. And then the same thing, the other person got up to go to the washroom another time during the middle of the night and saw the same woman. And I was like, I'm good. But like, how do you, and I don't want to get into this either, because I don't want to say that I believe in ghosts, but what happens to the energy when people die? Because energy never goes anywhere.
And everything that happens creates energy, which creates alternate realities, which is like a quantum physics. Actually, I really want to read more up on this. Let's do another podcast about quantum physics and us trying to figure it out.
You know what? I'd fucking love that.
That'd be a riot.
I've got a really good book by John's crush, Brian Cox. He's some sort of astrophysicist.
I've heard that name.
Yeah. And so I would love Cox. I know, C-O-X.
Gross, man. Come on.
Write it the way it's supposed to be written. C-O-X.
Just a drawing of a penis.
Yeah. Oh my God, we're gross.
I love it.
Sorry, Dad. I'm glad that we have Creepy Corner, because there are creepy things to talk about all the time. And like, even talking about our own gut instincts, where we've had times where it's like, I'm not going to go in there.
Oh, all the time. I get that all the time when it took me a long time to get over my fear of the woods that I take the dog in, because I'm like, woods are not just like, I mean, there's bears and there's cougars in there for sure, but also Dementors and Wolverines and men who want to murder me, most likely, and ghosts or elves or something. And I haven't had anything like of a paranormal, like I hear things and I'll just be like, I'm putting my headphones on. If I'm going to get killed, I don't want to see it coming, right?
Yep.
But I was like walking through one of the areas that had like to get into the university, and a car drove by and slowed down while I was going up the hill with the dog, and then parked and just like watched me like go, and I was just like, and I'm taking a cut off into the woods to get home. Like I was just like, nope. Or else there was a vibe. I just had a vibe that either they just did something and they didn't want to be seen, and I saw them, and therefore, oh great, the mafia's in town, and I saw the car, and I'm done.
Perfect.
Forget about it.
Forget.
I have a huge belief in gut instinct, and I seriously believe it's probably saved me once or twice. Yes, let's keep up with Creepy Corner for now, and then when we're over it, let's go to Science Corner and start for Quantum Corner. And like we'll do our research now because we're interested in it, and so we have a buildup of information, and we're gonna figure out how we can get into one of those parallel universes live on the show. In this one, I just have blue eyes. Oh,
that's the only difference. My laugh is still annoying in the other universes. Oh God,
I'm drinking pure berry, not lime.
I'm drinking a Chardonnay, not a Pinot Grigio. In
I'm
what
podcasting,
world?
But I have no arms and legs. Oh. And that's how she led a country. That's how I'm like Michael Scott. That's how I'll cry. It's like my own idea. He had no arms or legs, couldn't see, speak, or hear. And that's how he led a country. Or like our musical based off of the music of Aerosmith.
Starring Alan Rickman. We need to walk people. No pun intended. No pun intended. Walk people through that.
Walk this way.
I know. It's walk this way.
We were gonna write a musical based on the music of Aerosmith called Walk This Way about a person who couldn't walk, but at their wedding they could suddenly walk, and it was like, I don't want to visit this. And
also, we thought this was the only way that we could get through to Alan Rickman, because we would send him a script.
And he would know that it was like a thing to raise money for a good cause. Oh, may he rest in peace.
We love you, Alan. That was Alan. Such a tough day.
That was so hard to call you.
You didn't call me, you texted me.
But then I called you.
I don't remember that day. Honest to God, Sarah, like when that happened, I just kind of went like, LOL, are we going to stay home and drink a box of wine? Because that's what we said that we would always do. Yeah. And then instead I went to work and I met this emergency room physician for the first time, but I was crying.
Dressed in black.
I'm really sorry. My favorite actor just died, and I can just tell he was like, I don't have time for this.
Oh my God,
my parents called me later that day. Honey, we heard about the news. We just wanted to make sure that you're okay. I got a sympathy card in the mail. I got more than Alan Rickman's wife. And it's because I loved him more than she ever could. And
all right, so this is the Star Trek podcast. So I guess we should start talking about some fucking Trek. I got some gossip for you. I did my homework.
Oh, yay.
1, Lower Decks has been greenlit for a second season. Boom.
Already.
Yeah. And I love it. It's so funny. It's so quotable. Quotables. Alex Kurtzman has said that they are ahead of schedule on script writing for Discovery, Picard, Strange New Worlds, and Section 31, which is the first we've actually heard about Section 31 in a while, but because of COVID, they're not filming, but they're like kicking ass on writing stuff. So when the time comes that they can film safely, they'll be like knocking them out of the park.
Totally.
So that's very exciting.
Oh.
And I'm more excited now for Section 31 because as of like 2 days ago, I was like, I know what I want to do right now while I'm making jewelry. I want to rewatch season 2 of Discovery. And as soon as Philippa comes on, I'm just like, I have such a huge girl crush now on her. Like I love her as an actress. I want to watch everything she's done. Yeah. I need to watch Crouching Tiger again so bad. Yeah. I'm just like, if she's going to do a show, bring it on. Like season 2 of Discovery, I liked so much more than season 1. And that opening scene of Tilly being so awkward with Captain Pike. I'm like, bless her heart. Like it's so cute. And he's so good. I can't wait for his show. Like, it's just, it's so exciting. So speaking of Strange New Worlds, it will be a lot like TOS in the sense that it'll be like Alien of the Week or Planet of the Week. It's very episodic with a few like 2-parters. So it's kind of taking back to that nostalgic style of how we watched like TNG and TOS.
Right on.
But it's also going to take that perspective of looking into the fact that Pike knows his fate. So how does that play into him as a man, right?
Beep once for yes.
Beep boop boop. What does that mean? That's 3. IDW, which is a comic book thing, they're doing a Star Trek Voyager comic book that's going to focus on 7 of 9, and it's set during the run of the show. So I am like, sign me up. I will buy those and then forget to read them. Yeah. Just like I have the Deep Space Nine one, and I haven't read it yet.
Don't need to.
And that's all I have for gossip, actually. So it's not that much. But I have, we have to do not a corrections corner, but we forgot to do it last week corner. We didn't say what Bill and Dan actually said about Sub Rosa. And I know that both of them think it's the best episode that was ever made. So we wanted to make sure I gave them their platform. So it's just like they hated it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm like, no way.
Ghosts, candles, horrible sets. It amazes me that Jerry Taylor wrote it, Brandon Braga did the teleplay, and Franks directed this episode because it just sucks. It is easily one of the bottom episodes of TNG, if not all Trek.
Oh my God. Wow.
That was Dan.
Really?
Yeah.
I can tell. Obviously.
I don't do their voices well because this one's going to sound the exact same. This episode is an embarrassment on all fronts, and that's completely surprising considering all the talent involved here. Plus, the story is really disturbing. Beverly and the women in her family were sexually assaulted by Space Ghost, and a colony that purposely is designed like 19th century Europe or whatever. No, this is one of the worst hours of Star Trek ever produced. I'm Bill. I'm Dan. Those are our 2 cents.
That almost had a little bit of a Kevin vibe at the end.
I felt like I was like ready to bring somebody out to wrestle on WWE.
Totally.
And here we are to discuss Sub Rosa.
Oh my God, dude. Can now do Louis Armstrong.
Oh my God.
Hello, darling. Well, hello, darling. It's so nice to have you back where you belong.
Oh, that hurts my throat.
God, it's amazing, though. Now
you heard it here, folks. You heard it here.
Oh, yeah!
Like lightning! All right, Haley.
All right.
I granted you the homework of writing a synopsis for my second favorite episode of Star Trek of all time. No pressure. Rock it on, girl. I bet you did great.
A lot to me. Thank you. So... The episode that we are reviewing today is called Rascals. Oh, you Rascally Rabbits. So when I was searching for Rascals, I was scrolling past all of the other episodes, obviously, because I'm on Netflix, not on DVD or HD DVD for that matter. Remember HD DVDs?
I do.
Yeah. I'm scrolling through. I had Children of Men on HD DVD, but nothing to play.
Oh no! Froze for a second.
Anyway, so I'm scrolling through. Oh, you did too. I think it's okay if the audio is okay. Anyway, so I'm scrolling through, and I just kept yelling out the names of episodes because they're so good. Because this is season 6, so I was like that one, and I can't remember any of the names. No, nothing's coming to me. Anyway, so season 6. Episode numero 77776 5 4 3 2 1 go. Okay, so this episode starts off with the captain's log where he says that Ensign Rowe, Keiko, and Guinan, total B team in my opinion.
Oh my God.
Are returning from a visit to some planet. Picard has a hard-on for some of the stuff that they obviously stole. Worf calls and says that there's a need to return immediately because there's some drama with some missing scientists from LIGO 7 or 8. I can't remember. But then, seven. But then the shuttle gets enveloped by an energy field or something. Miles is trying to transport the team and says that there's a 40% drop in mass, and he fears that he lost one of them. But all is revealed when they beam aboard, and they are youngsters. Picard starts to talk and is like, wait, what the what? Cue theme song. Luckily, only their bodies changed, and all of their intelligence and memories and behaviors are the same. How convenient. And also convenient, their clothes also shrunk. I love that their mannerisms are the same, like when Jean-Luc does the Picard maneuver and the turbo lift with Riker. It's a sexual thing. On the bridge, people are like, this is weird. And meanwhile, Picard's like, can we just fucking do our jobs? Thanks. Meanwhile, it's been all of 30 seconds since Picard left sickbay, and Crusher asks to speak to him privately, and he asks her if she's determined the cause of the transformation. The fuck? In what world, on what spaceship, could someone determine something like that in under a minute? And then she's like, I don't know anything, but I'm pretty sure this will start to affect your mental capacity, and I base that on no knowledge. Picard gives command of the ship to Riker until things get sorted. Picard's like, ugh, I was supposed to take tomorrow off. The others are also relieved of duty. Ro is all like, eh. And Guinan's like, secret, I'm young again. And Keiko is freaking Miles out, asking hypothetical questions, which doesn't help the situation. And then Miles is like, it'll be all right. And she's like, how? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, that's not very reassuring. Picard is loving his hair, but even he says to Troy that he can't take himself seriously. Troy gives him about 300 options of something he could do as a kid, and he dismisses all of them except for, you guessed it, an archaeological dig. Crusher has identified missing pieces in Picard's genetic makeup. She also says DNA never changes, and that's not true, so she has no credibility in my eyes anymore. There is concern that if pieces go missing of the DNA, that the kid's age will get younger and younger. So like that movie, The Curious Case of Benjamin Buttonfly or whatever. Ro continues to be a bitch, but ends up jumping on her bed with Guinan. And this is a side story that I simply don't care about.
Yeah, fair.
Yep.
Plus those beds, where are the blankets? One.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't look fun.
I don't care if the room is perfectly temperature. I want blankets because that's what protects you from anything under your bed.
Exactly, right? God. The ship arrives near the planet where the scientists were last seen, and guess who's there? The Ferengi. They start firing at the Enterprise. Life support is down. Shields are down. There are multiple casualties. The warp core is down. Also, the best ever, 25 minutes, 15 seconds in, Riker does this dive out of his chair and onto the floor, and it is epic. He deactivates the command codes. The Daemon comes on the bridge and says that he's salvaging the ship and that they will all have to comply or they'll start executing people. Meanwhile, all the kids are put into some room together, and Alexander's weird space rover hits Picard's ankle, and Picard takes it away. So anyway, Picard gets some phasers using Alexander's toy or something, I don't know. He makes a scene that he wants to see his dad, Picard does, and that his dad is Riker. And then he calls him number one by accident. Number one dad. And then they hug. And it's all awesome. And then Riker turns on the computer in schoolroom 8.
We just want to play some games.
Can you turn the computer on? Tea, Earl Grey hot. The Daemon says that he'll start executing people if Riker doesn't unlock command, and he's going to start with killing his son. And then Riker's like, okay, I'll restore command control, but I have to explain how everything works. And it sounds like a page from the technical manual that I got, and it probably is.
There you go.
Of course, it's too difficult for the Ferengi to understand, and while Riker has him distracted, he unlocks the computer in schoolroom 8. Picard does some things and transports the Ferengi into a secure spot, and that's all tied up in a nice bow. And then the kids are fixed, and the episode is over. I don't understand how they fix them. It has something to do with technology. The end.
Something to do with putting the missing DNA sequence back into the transporter. Sequencing genes.
Yeah.
There was a whole conversation between Riker and Dr. Crusher. Fantastic. Fantastic synopsis.
Did I do it justice?
You
just
did.
us.
Oh, just us. You did great.
Ugh, thanks.
You hit on the important parts.
That's what I thought.
I thought so.
You know, the casting. Okay. I have to pee again already. The casting of the kids was brilliant. And also, as soon as I saw young Picard, I was like, swing, and then I thought, like, what's Jesus? And I was like, what is wrong with me?
No, do you want to? I'm going to send you something. I was saving it just for this to get the live reaction. I have found a photo of what this young actor looks like now. I did a search for you, and I'm sending it now.
Still waiting. Why does he look like fucking not Vincent Van Gogh? He looks like a painter from like You know who I'm talking about. What's his name? David Birkin.
I was going to say, it looks like fucking Edgar Allan Poe on a good day.
Yes, it's Edgar Allan Poe. That's who I was thinking of.
Anything else you want to add about the episode?
I enjoyed it. I felt very uncomfortable with the Miles and Keiko scene, which I think you should have felt. She's like, Miles, I'm still your wife. They were such good actors, really good. And Other than that, so remind me, but I didn't think that the Ferengi were like terrorist types. Like, I thought that they were just
They're not.
greedy.
These guys weren't part of the Ferengi.
That is what they said.
Own little, yeah.
Yeah, they were outside of the Federation or whatever.
Well, and they obviously weren't that good at what they did because they got overtaken by a bunch of kids. So they were typical Ferengi. Yeah.
Dumb. Okay, so that kind of threw me off for a second. I guess they did address that. You're right. What did you think?
One. Or A, depending on what you use when you're using Word.
Roman numerals?
Roman numerals. Here we go. I love how, like, all four of them are calm on the transporter pad when this all first fucking happens. Like, come on, you guys are fucking dumb. This is, like, a big deal. Like,
yeah, really.
The instant fail was the reaction. Like, here we go. Let's watch how I learned how to hate one of my favorite episodes of all time. Okay.
Oh, no.
It pissed me off, though, about how, like, a lot of people, the example is Dr. Crusher is talking to Riker and Troy about Picard, and he's right there. Like, it's as if suddenly everybody's just like, oh, they're kids, so we're going to dismiss them and treat them like shit, even though they're functioning cognitively as how they should be. And I think that was just kind of like, it played into the episode, but at the same time, it's like, rude.
Yeah, so rude.
So rude. And, like, was no one fucking briefed about this? Because when the Captain Picard walks onto the bridge, like, Worf and Geordi's, like, raising up and down his visor, like, what am I seeing here? And it's like, guys, like, stop being assholes. It's the fucking captain. Show him some respect. Do you want the kid to shave his head? Like, what does he have to do? Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I assure you that I am Captain Picard.
I loved it. Oh.
The girl who played the young Ensign Ro was from Hang Time. Do you remember that show, Hang Time? It was like a Saved by the Bell, but basketball kids.
I don't like sports, so no.
Oh, but did you like... It would come on after California Dreams.
It is interesting to me that you're saying California Dreams. That will come full circle.
Oh, all right. Number 6, sending you texts now of what young Picard looks like now. There we go. I had it in my note. I LOL'd so hard. Chief O'Brien, his legs crossed, sitting, like, leaning away from Keiko as much as possible on that couch. It was such good physical acting between the two of them, because I'm really glad that they played this part so well that didn't come off as creepy. Nothing came off as creepy in the Keiko and O'Brien. It was funny.
I agree.
With enough of, like, a heartwarming, like, oh my God, like, what if? Yeah, but they did that. I just thought it was, like, really good. They used to call me Double Sweet. The coffee. I know. Oh,
I know, Miles.
No, Miles. God, I'm still your wife.
Yeah.
Molly's so cute. The little girl just...
I want mommy. Yeah.
So cute. I wish this episode had happened while Wesley was still on board. Because the Wesley Picard thing would have been really good, I think.
Oh my God, imagine.
It's just like, it would have just been so good.
Boner fest. What?
When he goes running in to see Riker, Dad. I'm like, hey, I also call Riker Daddy, but in a totally
yes.
You can go more places with crayons than you can with a starship. I want that on a t-shirt, Guinan. What a thing to say at the end.
She's so good.
I thought that was such a sweet little moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Fun facts.
Yep.
Haley, go.
Isis Carmen Jones, who plays young Guinan, would later play a young Whoopi Goldberg. It's not Golder. You wrote it wrong. Again, in Sister Act. This will be... Anyway, I don't know if I've never seen that.
It. You've never seen Sister Act?
No, I haven't seen anything.
Sister Act is
I've seen Sister Act 2 and Sister Act 3. No, I'm just kidding. No, I haven't. No.
Sister Act is the best movie. Dame Maggie Smith. Harvey Keitel.
Really?
Oh. Harvey Keitel is the mobster that wants to kill Whoopi Goldberg, so she has to hide in a convent.
Why do they want to kill her?
She's a lounge singer from Vegas because she witnessed a crime. Oh my God, it's the best movie ever. And they take all, like, the 50s and 60s music and make it about God so that the Pope was like, I want to come check out this choir.
Oh, in a garden of Eden, honey.
Totally. You obviously know the soundtrack.
That was from The Simpsons. Okay, go.
Okay. This is the first of 2 episodes directed by Adam Nimoy, the son of Leonard Nimoy. The other is TNG episode Timescape.
Which I think is also season 6, because I remember seeing Timescape.
That's a good one. Isn't that the one where they kind of get frozen and you see the Romulans took over the ship? I like that episode.
Oh.
I think. I don't know.
I'm sure it's good.
Okay.
For reasons that have never been explained, the dialogue by Isis Carmen Jones, young Guinan, was overdubbed for the entire episode. Did you pick up on that?
Yeah, well, I always thought it was kind of weird. And then once I read that, I watched and I was like, oh, this is weird. This is weird and distracting.
Do you think it was Whoopi that did the...
No.
It really sounded... Anyway,
It's
how odd. Okay.
I know. O'Brien, in beaming his wife along with 3 others on board, detects a 40% loss of mass and reports to the bridge that he may have lost one of them. His report shows no emotion whatsoever, as if he was beaming total strangers over. He certainly wasn't worried about losing his wife or his captain. Also, a 40% loss among 4 people would more likely constitute the combined weight of 2, not 1, of a 4-person party, specifically the lighter members, such as Keiko and Ensign Rowe together.
True.
A 1 among 4 loss would be closer to 25% than 40%. Estimations would not seem to be O'Brien's strong suit.
You're right that he was totally matter of fact. I'm detecting a 40% loss of mass. Like,
He's a professional and he's at work.
That's true. The Fountain of Youth has been sought for generations. That's also a really good movie, Generations. Oh. One would think some of the 4 so affected would find it extraordinary, but most of them find their new youth an annoyance to be quickly shed. Here's an aside. If you found yourself to be 12 years old right now, I mean, the world sucks, but whatever. What would you do? Would you be upset? Would you try and find a way to...
I'd be so excited. If I was turned into a 12-year-old right now, I mean, obviously I'd freak out and be like, oh, can we get an answer on if this is permanent or not? But if it was like permanent, I'd be like, I can't wait to be the smartest person at school. I'm going to become like I'm going to go to Harvard. Like I would try really hard to like go a different path and be like the youngest to do this or whatever.
Okay.
Sorry, Brad. Okay. Like that, bad for the relationship. But
yeah,
in 6 years after I've gotten my doctorate, then if he's waited, then there you go.
Win-win.
Right. What about you?
I think if I was to be turned 12-ish, I would probably be like, hey, maybe be a little more active instead of just playing music all the time. And by playing music, I mean band and piano, which is all seated. Mm. And just like take better care of myself maybe. Mm. And then also I would want to know if it was permanent or not. And if it, honestly, if it was permanent, probably my parents would be super jazzed because they'd be like,
hey, move back home.
There's a kid again. Yeah. They always say, you can always come home. But as long as people didn't know that I had this Benjamin Buttonfly thing, then I would do the same thing as you. I would go to school and be like the smartest and be like, the answer is...
Yeah, or I'd read a book about how to succeed, being like,
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to pee, though, again. Sorry. I'll be really quick.
Fine.
Just deal with it.
Hurry. I have to record another podcast. All right. Fast fact. Picard tells Riker they're in schoolroom 8. However, when Picard returns, the screen shows they are in classroom 7. Fail.
Fucking continuity error.
Bullshit.
Picard has an adult-sized artificial heart. He does. That somehow seems to fit just fine in his younger version self, and it does not cause him any discomfort either. It could not have been changed to a smaller size since his uniform did not change size either, which is not true.
Well, when they were beamed aboard, their clothes seemed big, but they changed.
Oh, they changed.
I can't remember.
I can't remember now.
You can just replicate that shit anyways.
I thought their clothes didn't change, yeah.
After the younger version of Picard is brought to the classroom by Ferengi, younger Rose suggests flooding the ship with the nestazine gas, but Picard says that has been locked out with all of the command functions. How does he know? He wasn't on the bridge when Riker gave that order.
Yeah.
Right?
Wrong.
Like, hello.
When young Keiko O'Brien gets coffee for... When young Keiko O'Brien gets coffee for herself and Miles, his black coffee starts out in her right hand, but when she walks over to hand it to him, it's in her left hand.
What? Kids, come on. Don't hire kids.
Don't hire kids.
What did Dan say about this?
Dan said, skip it. How on earth are these bumbling Ferengi able to completely take over a galaxy starship so easily? Truth. That just ruined it for me. Again, kid episodes just don't do well in Star Trek.
Sorry, don't work well in Star Trek.
It was cool to...
My typing is not the best.
Work well in Star Trek. It was cool to see the same kid who played Renee in Family.
The episode Family. He was like Picard's nephew or something.
Oh, fun. But it wasn't enough to save this one for me.
There you go.
What did Bill say?
Meh. That's like his thing. Apparently it's funny. I don't think it's funny. Okay.
Oh, yeah. No.
Let me know.
So 2002.
I say personally, see it a million times and then call me to discuss it. I'll give you my personal phone number. I give it 4 hours of bed jumping, 6 Tarkasian razor beasts, and 1 awkward Miles O'Brien hug. All right, Haley, would you rather? Would you rather be turned into a kid and have to regrow up or spend a month married to the Traveler?
You know what? If you're thinking about it in that way, a month. Okay, I would just be married to the Traveler for a month, but I would be on an away mission for a month.
Okay, fair enough.
What about you?
I'll take the kid. I'll turn into a kid happily.
Yeah.
I'll turn into a Tarkasian razor beast. I don't care. Would you rather see this episode? Okay. Would you rather this episode see Worf turned into a kid and note his son is on the board, or have it have been Riker instead of Picard?
Oh, I mean, so part of me really wants to see Worf as a kid because, you know, that he grew up on Earth and like he had those parents. He had those parents. But I feel like Riker would be such a scamp, and I would love to see that. So Riker for me. Yeah. You?
I'll just say the opposite because I think it would be kind of fun to see the play between the dad. Like it would have been awkward and kind of funny.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I would rather have seen it with Wesley on board. I think that would have been really good.
Totally. Good point.
And be Wesley Crusher's roommate? I don't think so. God. What a little shit. Okay.
Totally.
Now we're moving into rewind. And like this kind of has died into like kind of just like a whatever now.
Yeah, I know.
It's
too late to change the name of the podcast.
Well, we're rewinding by looking back at old episodes that we used to love, so that's fine.
Oh, okay, yeah. Thanks for reminding me what our podcast is about.
It's about creepy corner and quantum physics.
Oh God.
The challenge that I gave Haley for this was like I kind of just was thinking of like what would be fun and like make fun discussion. I was gonna say if you could put any fictional, because I think we did this already with like actors, like what actors would you have replay the main characters of like Picard and stuff, right? And we went through that. Yeah. So I was like, what about fictional characters from movies, TVs, books? If you could place them into different roles on TNG, so that would be like Counselor or Data, that kind of stuff. Who would you choose? I can't wait to hear who you came up with, and I'm so curious if we have anybody similar.
Okay, and so do you want me to go first then?
Sure.
Okay, so Picard is Darth Vader.
Ooh.
Riker. That's not right. Riker is Jake from California Dreams.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Creepy corner.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Yeah. That is so fucked up. Oh.
I have not thought about that show in years.
Decades.
But also, like, you remember Jake, right? Like, he was the rough and tough kind of.
Yeah, the leather jacket. I remember seeing them. Jimmy Fallon did a reunion with them randomly on his show, and I was like, "Oh my God, they're all old."
So good. Okay. So Geordie is Carlton from Fresh Prince. Yeah, the dance.
Oh, I love the dance.
Worf is Captain Raymond Holt from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
That's not cheddar. That's just some basic common bitch.
Oh,
it's an imposter dog.
Dear Jake.
When he calls his husband, it's your husband, Captain Raymond Holt. Great character.
Okay. Troy is the nanny.
Oh, she was working in a bridal shop, slashing queens, tell the boy for kicking around.
Crushing seats. What was she to go? Where's she to go? She was out on her fanny.
Nailed it.
Oh, okay. This isn't a fictional person, but Dr. Crusher is Jenny Jones. Wesley is Chandler Bing. Could I be any more annoying? And then finally, Data, played by Michael Scott.
Oh, perfect. If I had 2 bullets left and I was in a room with Toby, Bin Laden, and Hitler, I'd shoot Toby twice. All right. Here's mine. For the captain, Olivia Benson.
Oh, she's the coolest.
I know. But she's going to have a tough time because her number 1 is Ron Swanson. Ron Swanson doesn't, but he does like Pretty Brunettes and Breakfast Food.
Yeah.
Chief of Security, Dwight Schrute.
Oh,
there are weapons hiding all over the ship. Nunchucks, you name it. Chief of Engineering, Chewbacca. No one understands what he's saying, but he's pounding on everything all the time.
He's going.
He's got the visor, though. The Doctor, Dr. House. McMeany.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I got to watch that show again. That was a good show.
Too.
Fuck, that was good.
That was so good.
The science officer, or like that would be Data. It'll be Megan from Bridesmaids. That was Melissa McCarthy's character.
Yeah.
I got an 18-wheeler. I bought just because I could. I got 4 houses. Like she was just like so funny in that movie.
Look away.
Look away.
Yeah.
I'm going to climb that like a tree. I'm glad that's not your book.
Oh.
The counselor, Gemma Teller from Sons of Anarchy.
Holy shit.
Let's just flip it.
Yeah.
Make her just a nightmare. She's just trying to get everyone killed.
I was going to say, I'll just kill anyone who's like giving you a hard time.
I didn't think of anybody for Wesley, so I'm going to try and come up with somebody on the spot. Who would be playing the kid, the child of Dr. House? Let's go with...
Sorry.
Excuse you.
That just came out.
The teen angsty daughter who wants to sell her virginity from Big Little Lies.
Oh, yes. Good show.
Instead of Wesley, it's the entire cast of Queer Eye.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love that show.
Awesome.
The old and the new.
Yeah.
I think I want to watch both of those shows.
Oh, I would definitely watch both. And we did have some crossover.
Awesome.
We had The Office. We had Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it.
Dude, nailed it.
Run
all right.
through this world.
Boom, boom. Well, do you like podcasts? Do you want to hear more? Check out all the great shows that make up the Trek Geek Podcast Network by visiting them at trekgeeks.com. There's something for everyone. If you like it and want more, you can support us by subscribing to bonus content on Patreon. Get access to the unedited audio of all the Trek Geek podcasts and a lot of other perks. You can interact with Trek Rewind on Twitter at Trek Rewind. Lastly, we'd like to thank 5 Year Mission for their amazing music. Check them out at 5yearmission.net. And because you've listened this far, why don't you get a reward? Why don't you go visit Fansets and get yourself a 15% discount by using our code REWIND in all caps, to infinity and beyond.
And apparently
Haley frequencies closed.
Oh.
Nailed it.
Nailed that.
We did it.
Yay. This is fun.
Bye.
Bye.
Fuck, I hope it's recorded.
Me too. Jesus.
Music for Rewind is provided by 5 Year Mission. They're writing an original song for each episode of Star Trek. Hear more of their music at 5yearmission.net. Rewind is a production of Coconut Media Works. Executive producers Bill Smith and Dan Davidson. For more great Star Trek discussion, discover the other shows of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network at trekgeeks.com or find us in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app.